Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Make sure all the clicky stuff is on. Welcome to Friday again. We've had a week of rain, which is good for the garden. Does that make me sound old? But we have blue skies today. But there's that hint, that scent of autumn in the air. Hurrah! I am not good with all the heat. I'm very much looking forward to autumn, and it's there. It's just about to creep in. First thing this morning, it smelled beautiful in the garden. Real autumnal crispness to the air. Whilst I'm not a big fan of getting soaking wet in the rain, it has been nice to have cooler days this week. Good morning, Jane from beautiful downtown Romford. I don't think I've ever been to Romford. I don't think I've ever really been to Essex, to be honest. Driven through bits of it. Good morning, Tina. And it is, yes, I'm looking out the window now and it is completely blue sky and a seagull. But we live near the sea, so, it's not unusual to see or hear seagulls. One of my favourite sounds, seagulls. Noisy little beggars. Good morning, Terry. Good morning, Emma. I hope today is kind to you too, Emma. Good morning, Diane. Good morning, Claire. Lots of lovely people here already. Thank you so much for joining me, joining us all for our community chat. It's been a busy, hectic week as usual. There's lots going on in the Kitchen Witch camp. It's actually been a really exciting week. We've got one project that we're working on that's a bit of a secret. You'll have to wait for that one, but it's quite big. The other one is that myself, Ness and Heather signed a book contract this week with Moonbooks Publishing to publish. Working title is Practical Witchcraft. Basically, us three are putting our heads together and our pens to paper to write down what we know about witchcraft, how we work it, what we work with, how we do things from all of our slightly different perspectives. Folk magic, practical, proper, no nonsense witchcraft. And that's all going in a book. We signed the contract this week, so that's very exciting. For all students, there are changes in the works. The company that hosts our website is getting rid of forums and moving it over to something called groups. So most of my past 2 weeks has been working behind the scenes on the website to try and sort it all out. Still ongoing. So in the next couple of weeks, there will be changes to the school website, but we will keep you updated. I'm hoping it will be more streamlined, more modern, easier to navigate. So yeah, lots of techie stuff going on there, but there you go. It's been one of those weeks for technology. Good morning, Alison. Have a yard sale tomorrow, so thank goodness no rain course. Yes, that, weekends. We don't need rain at weekends, do we? Rain overnight's quite good, isn't it? And then, gardens get watered, resources get refilled. Good morning, Maria. Good morning, Maharet. Definitely autumn. I've broken out the speculous cookies. Yum. Very nice. Good morning, Sasha. Oh dear, I'm on the big screen. Stop doing that. Good morning, Nicola from Enfield. Diane, the ravens we have around here are one of my favourite birds to hear. There's something about seagulls. I think it goes back to my childhood when you heard seagulls when you were on holiday. Most of my all of my childhood, I lived in Surrey, so we weren't really near any oceans. But for the past 33 years, I've lived in Portsmouth, so by the sea. And it is that sound of seagulls, I think, that reminds me of childhood holidays. I love it. The seagull is one of my birds, my animals that I work with. So, good morning, David. Doing domestics, so I look like a housewife in a beard. Now there's a picture for everyone. Good morning, Jalala. Jane, a triad book. Yes, all three of us putting our heads together. That'll be fun, won't it? Good morning, Ness. Good luck with the boiler, Ness. David, Wick's doing what? I like they didn't ask people whether they wanted that. No. I wonder. Okay, there's a pigeon now. A pigeon's one of my birds too. Not in the house, out the window. Yes. I like Wix. It's been very good for hosting the website. It's quite straightforward to use, but in their wisdom, they have decided that forums are no longer needed. Is it an old thing, forums? Is it a bit old hat? They're moving to this thing called groups, which is a bit more like a social community platform. So actually, it might work better for us. So, but I'm in the. That's my job for the rest of today, is to start that process. We'll see. Thank you, Tina. Diane, downside of the rain is the grass is growing again. Yes, if you get your lawnmowers ready. Lizzie, good morning. How quickly has yellow dead grass greened up? Yes, that's the bonus of it, isn't it? Good morning, Sue from sunny Sunderland. Never been to Sunderland either. I'd need to travel a bit more around the UK, don't I? Actually, myself and the girls, we've got a bit of a holiday this month. Last year we went to Dartmoor. For the first time we had a holiday. No events, no festivals, no talks, nothing. We just escaped to Dartmoor for a few days, the three of us, and it was brilliant. Except that Heather made us walk quite a lot. I think she's a mountain goat. So they tried to kill me, basically, with all the walking. This year we're going on another Kitchen Witch holiday, and we're going to Torquay. So that should be very nice. That's this month. Very exciting. Right, let's have a just slight. Alison, exciting news about the new book. Might have missed when it's due out. Oh, not written yet. We've signed the contract. We've now got to pull all of it. We've got an outline. We've now got to do the actual work. Good evening, Zephora. Nicola, seagull landed on my head trying to steal my chip butty. It was so heavy. They are very cheeky. They are very cheeky. We were in Cornwall, St Ives, I believe, when the children were young, many years ago. And we came out of a pasty shop, and a huge seagull stole the entire pasty out of my husband's hand. Took the whole thing. He's never forgiven them for that. Good morning, Xenia. Good morning. Beginning of September, yes. Halloween season. Yes, definitely Halloween season. And no heat, no more. Yeah, I know. It's much better. Jane, we get seagulls here too, even though we're on the eastern edge of Greater London. They think Fairlock Waters is an enclave of the North Sea. They used to have a town noise. Now it's just the classic coastal cry. I think they are amazing birds. And there's such a huge variety of them, from tiny little things up to enormous gulls. I love them. Ness, looking forward to holiday. Yes, we're going to the seaside. we can have chips and ice cream on the seafront. It'd be brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. David, nothing wrong with hiking 30 miles. Lovely. Not going hiking with you. Good morning, Sue. Long time no see. Hope you are good. Hope you're good. Maria, that's an unusual brooch you're wearing. Thank you. It is a replica 1920s one. Yeah, you know I love my Art Deco, my Art Nouveau. Bits behind that side, bits behind me. Yeah, I do love that period in time. Claire, escaped to rather than from Dartmoor. Yes, we didn't escape from Dartmoor. We escaped to Dartmoor. But yes, we're off to Torquay this month. So that's going to be rather a nice jolly. David, let's get some of these up. Let's press the buttons, woman. Come on. David, David's got an interesting sigil on your profile there. Just got crows sitting on the roof, magpies in the trees, and a horde of sparrows complaining I've not fed them this morning. It's a lie, I have, but they ate it all and think I've forgotten. I have not fed the bird this morning. We have a lot of sparrows. That's one of my jobs when I go downstairs. Good morning, Karen. We do get a lot of sparrows. So today's subject. Now, the girls were here on one of the days this week. Can't remember. It's all been a bit of a blur. Tuesday. The girls were here at Kitchen Witch HQ making more hoards. So there's some new hoards will be going up soon. Ness and Heather are geniuses at putting together incense and oils. Uh, they just have a natural ability for it. They go through all the herbs and bits and just chuck that in. Yeah, we'll put that in. Then we'll put that in. Totally by intuition. And what they come up with smells amazing. So yeah, that's what we were doing on Tuesday, among other things. We were working on our new secret project too. So it kind of inspired this week's theme: incenses and oils. Do you use them? What do you use them for? Do you make your own? Do you buy them? Do you have a preference between loose incense, incense cones, sticks, whatever it might be? Do you have an oil burner? Do you use oils in that way? Do you use oils for anointing? How do you use them? What do you use them for? And do you have any favorites? Do you have a specific herb or oil that you use for a particular magical reason? So there you go. Lots of questions, but all around incense and oils. I just thought it would be interesting to see how everyone does and what they do with it. I like loose incense for smudging because it means I can just pull together the bits that I want or that I feel are right, chuck them on the charcoal in my cauldron because I do like burning things in my cauldron. I have a cast iron cauldron, which I usually use. I bought a copper cauldron, a second-hand one at a festival last year. I thought, well, I'll try that. What I forgot is that copper conducts heat. So when I picked up the handle on the copper cauldron to carry it around the house, it was boiling hot. I had to put a tea towel around the handle. So bear that in mind. I think my favourites, I love frankincense resin. I love all the resins, actually. Benzoin I love as well. Although we've been using pine resin a lot more because it's native to the UK. Cinnamon, I love this. I love all of the Christmas scents, actually. Cinnamon, cloves, ginger, nutmeg. I love all of those. Star anise. I do use particular oils and incenses for particular purposes. So if I'm working a prosperity spell, I will tie the incense and the oil into it. I use oils not really for anointing myself, but I use oil blends for dressing candles. That's my primary use for it. Although I do put drops of oil in my incense blends to boost the scent. I do put drops of oils in witch bottles and in spell pouches as well. Quite often as well, I will make a loose incense blend and then I will use it as an offering if there's any left afterwards as well. Or I will grind it up and use it as a sachet powder to feed my spell pouches. So I think there's quite a lot of different uses there. Have a rule of thumb for incense. I did a video actually of me making a smudging incense last week. That's up on the YouTube channel. I like to use a resin because it makes lots of smoke, which you need for smudging. If you're smudging with smoke, obviously. And it burns a bit longer. I like to use something woody like cinnamon bark or twigs because they keep it burning. And I use petals and dried herbs, dried plant matter. If you just use dried plant matter, it won't burn for very long. That's my, thoughts too. Oh, lots. Okay, scroll. Okay. A question, Emma. What's the strangest ingredient you've been drawn to use in incense? Just curious. Okay. Oh, I've had some interesting ones. So I thought it might be a good idea to put dried chilies in incense. I was doing something, can't remember what it was a few years ago now, and I thought dried chilies. Either I was boosting the power or doing something to cleanse, I'm not sure, can't remember. Put a sprinkle of dried chilies in. Do not put dried chilies in incense blends. They make your eyes water. They make your eyes run. That was a lesson learned. I have put sugar in incense blends before. Don't do that either because it melts and sticks and goes all gooey. One of my favourite incense blends is Kefi, which is an Egyptian one. And that's got red wine and honey in it, which are quite unusual ingredients. But I think probably the dried chilies was the most dangerous ingredient I put in there. But I kind of chuck stuff in that I feel should go in there, really, but nothing really weird so far, she says. What about anyone else? Do we have weird ingredients in your incenses? Good morning, Melanie. Jane chucked a load of bacon offcuts onto the garage roof and then went in there for something. Noise of the seagulls once they picked up the bacon on their radar was like thunder. Yes, that's a calling card for. That's like putting out a beacon, isn't it? Lizzie. Talkie, hope you're not staying at 40 Towers. No, thankfully. What we've been doing the last couple of times is staying in the caravan park things, the fixed holiday parks, that's them. If you're slightly out of season, they're quite cheap. And it means we get to all have a lounge. We each have our own bedrooms, but then we get a lounge for the evenings or breakfast or whatever. So, yes. Good morning, Trudy. Xenia, Facebook app doesn't let me like or heart react comments anymore. Well, that's rude. Also, keyboard hides the comment field, hence typos. Well, that's doubly rude. Jalala, if you're in Torquay, visit the surrounding areas. Yes, Torquay itself isn't amazing, but the surrounding areas are lovely. I haven't been to Torquay since I was a child. We used to go there for our holidays, family holidays. But there is, huge amounts of stuff to visit around there. So yes, we will be exploring. Maria, going to get the Prosperity Hoard, like the Kelech Hoard too. Thank you. The incenses that the girls made for both of those on Tuesday are amazing. Jalala, top nest, starting in bricks. Yes, we're going to stop at Hollington on the way, I think, because that's kind of halfway. But we've got a lot of things planned. So yes, all be good. All good. Diane, prefer loose incense, but it's not always convenient, and then I use sticks. I can wave these around the room without risking burning my fingers. Yes, and I think that's important to note that loose incense is amazing. It makes you feel witchy for a start, doesn't it? Let's be honest. Creating it and then wafting it all about does. But incense sticks, incense cones, just as good. Perfectly acceptable for smudging, cleansing, whatever you want to do with them. Yes, and very convenient. And they come in all different sorts of blends and scents and all sorts, don't they? Xenia, I prefer oil burner to all incense because the cold smoke thing stays in my flat for days. Yes, and it smells odd and stuck. No problem with oils. Yes. There is also the option as well, if you're not good with smoke, and I always have the windows open when I do smoke because you don't want it hanging around, do you? If you're not very good with smoke, but you want to make a loose incense, make the loose incense blend and then put it in the top of your oil burner. Light the candle underneath. It will warm the loose incense blend and it will let the aroma fill the house, but it doesn't give any smoke. So it's a nice option. Jane, I have a fondness for frankincense oil. It's this one I used for my first spell, which was a money spell. Good for money spells. It worked really well, and I use the same oil for spells involving harmony and friendship. It's great rubbed around the outside of a witchy punch bowl. Frankincense has got to be one of my favourite scents, I think. It's one of those scents that smells witchy to me, if that makes sense. It's one of those Glastonbury smells for me. But it is beautiful. Yes, absolutely beautiful. And scent evokes memories, doesn't it? So for you, it is your first spell. So I think particular scents, particular ingredients we use because the scent has a kind of memory trigger for us. Perfect. Sephora, sandalwood is my favourite, but the good stuff is pretty expensive now. Sandalwood's in a lot of aftershaves, isn't it? So it is a nice smell. Xenia, I prefer fresh oils like lemon, orange, pine, fir, rose geranium, lavender. Nice. Rose geranium, also one of my favourites. Smells like Turkish delight. Delicious. Nicola, as an aromatherapist, I use oils for healing. As a nature witch, I use them anointing and more. Clary sage and also rose are my favourites. Clary sage, also very nice. Anointing oils are lovely. I think It brings in a bit of ritual to whatever you're doing. You can anoint your third eye, your pulse points. Entirely up to you, really, but there are obvious places. But it does. It's kind of a key. It's kind of a switch to flip you into that witchy mode. Yeah, very useful. Maria, I was drawn to myrtle essential oil, but not sure why. I love the name Myrtle. It is my character name for the three witches that we had drawn for us. Yeah, belladonna, hemlock, and myrtle. Yeah, we're weird like that. The name myrtle is nice. It's an interesting plant. It's got pretty little white flowers on it. I've not actually worked with myrtle essential oil before, so interesting. There'll be a reason behind that, Maria. There's always a reason behind these things. David, I love to burn things. Oh, yes. Make my own oils. Got a nice collection of essential oils. Use them mostly for dressing, but I've also got an incense burner that has an oil base, so I can use it to heat the oils. Very subtle. Yes. Oils don't produce that smoke, do they? Which is nice. It is worth bearing in mind when you buy essential oils, check that they are pure essential oils. There are some out there that are mixed with chemicals or made with chemicals, so make sure you're getting the pure thing. I know David knows to do that. It was just a reminder. But yeah, I probably use mine mostly for dressing candles. But it's good for even for consecrating things, just putting a dab of oil on magical tools and things like that. Nicola, love the dragon loose incense from Star Child. Put it in a fire and like to watch dragons dancing in the flames, then connect with the flames. Perfect. Star Child have some lovely incense. Their keefy incense is really, really nice. Sephora went to a Thai restaurant where they'd just burnt chili and the whole restaurant was suffering and half the folks were Thai. We coughed and spluttered for a good 20 minutes and we were next to a window. It is, do not put chili flakes or dried chilies in your loose incense. Not good. I learnt that lesson very quickly. Jane, I made an incense dedicated to my late and lovely Nana, and I had to put tobacco in it because she liked to brag. Some tobacco that I think cigar tobacco and pipe tobacco actually smell very nice. No, I do have a pipe. I don't smoke. I've never smoked, but I do have a pipe because I just love the idea of a pipe. It's my whole nanny og thing, I think. My husband bought me a pipe a couple of years ago as a birthday present, but to be fair, he bought me moustache wax too. But anyway. So I do have a pipe. Sometimes I just sit with it, like holding it in my mouth because, it gives that whole kind of, I'm thinking about things. I did try some herbal tobacco in it, which no actual tobacco, just herbs, and it made me cough. So, but actually tobacco has magical properties itself. Is it in the book? It's in the book. I can't remember. A lot of orishas, lowers do ask for tobacco as offerings. It works very well. Yes, I did put tobacco in there. There you go. So you can burn tobacco leaves to cleanse and purify an area. It does sound a bit weird, but it does clear negative energies. Mix ground tobacco leaves with some cornmeal or salt and sprinkle around your property to bring in protection. If you're working with earth energies in your magic, leave an offering of tobacco afterwards. Bear in mind, this is the kick. The plant is poisonous. So I'm just saying, But tobacco, purification, good for travel as well, safe travelling and protection. Ruled by Mars, it is a fire element as well. So it is obviously very fiery, but very good for offerings. But I love that you put it in there. That's good. Claire, patchouli, yeah. It's a lovely smell, isn't it? It's a real earthy, magical type of scent, that one. Diane. Phoenix Flames do some lovely incenses. They do. Their Hecate incense is fab. They've got some nice teas. They've got some nice incenses, definitely. In actual fact, our last lot of resins that we bought to make our incenses, we purchased from Phoenix Flame. They do sell resins and plants and petals and all sorts of things that you can make your own with. Very nice quality too. David, I burn cones for meditation as they burn longer, but also have a nice collection of loose things for making incense blends. Yes, I think if you're meditating, the cone is safer as well. You're not going to get any spitting, or it's not going to go out and that kind of thing. Thank you.
Ta-da.
Do we know what I've got? Oh, that'll be a mint tea bag, that one.
Yeah, the other one had lots of bits in it. I've left it down there for you to see. It just looks disgusting. So
I bought some loose tea.
that one, the morning one, just
all the bits keep falling out.
It's not a good look.
Thank you. Yeah, I think the cones are safer, aren't they? And you know that they're not, the sticks are lovely, but the ash falls everywhere, doesn't it? Diane, I often use incense as an offering to my gods. I think that, yes, incense, loose incense, or even a cone or a stick crushed up makes a very good offering to deity. Absolutely. Emma, tend to use the several huge boxes of incense sticks that my friend gave me at the beginning of the year. Lovely that you were gifted something useful and beautiful like that. Brilliant. Xenia, when I burn incense, I put it on the oil burner. It works, doesn't it? One thing that I do use my oil burner for incense primarily. I don't often use it as an oil burner, but I put a layer of sand in the dish and then put the loose incense blend on the top, and it stops all of the resin from sticking to the dish. Because let's face it, it's a bit messy. Emma, that's on my altar. Loose incense for everything else. Got some nag shumper as well. That has got to be one of the most recognised, hasn't it? And it does smell lovely. Does smell really, really nice. As does this one, Jane. Yes, Palo Santo wood smells good too. It does, and I love it. I was gifted some. I've never bought it myself because it's one of those ones that has to be shipped from the other side of the world. And whilst I do buy things like cinnamon, I try and limit the amount of stuff that I buy that has to be shipped from the other side of the world if I can avoid it. But it does smell lovely. And another good one, Karen, Dragon's Blood. Yeah, me and my fire dragon love that one. Absolutely. Obviously not real dragon's blood. It's from a plant. It's from a tree, actually, but smells lovely. David, I have a burner that heats loose incense. It's the one with a bowl for oils. My favourite burner. Yes. Great to use to clean a room, and when working as it like cones, releases the scent slower than straight burning on charcoal. Yes, very, very useful, aren't they? Very useful. Melanie, yes, I use a simmer pot or oil burner as smoke gives my partner a bad chest. Rose geranium, delicious. Frankincense, wonderful. And jasmine. I like rose geranium. I'm not a big fan personally of the flowery ones, lavender, jasmine. I do use them, but I'm more towards the earthy, fiery ones. Not a big surprise, is it? But yes, simmer pots, brilliant simmer pots. Susie, oud has become my signature. I anoint myself liberally every morning. I use oil as perfume. My husband has a lot of oud oils that he uses as aftershave because they are perfumes. It's a very unique scent, isn't it? It is quite earthy, quite magical. There is quite a magical smell. There's a whole range of oud stuff now. He's got loads of them, but there is quite a range of the oud oils. They are ancient, but they seem to have become quite popular now, which is good because they are lovely scents. Jane, my son's lovely partner Sarah makes her own essential oils. She gave me a bottle of her homemade lavender oil, and wow, it's strong. Lavender, one of the most useful as well, I think, isn't it? That's used a lot for all sorts of things. Xenia, I use oils for anointing spell candles. That's probably my primary. No need for incense as the candles give off the scent of the oils. Yeah, double whammy, definitely. David, chili is great for banishing. Oh yeah, banishing my eyeballs. Burning it cleans out all spirits from a room from both sides of the veil. I think that's what I was using it for when I first put it in a loose incense. Oh, I use chilies in spell workings a lot. I put them in witch bottles. I put them in spell pouches. I haven't put them in an incense blend since that. It made my eyes run, tears streaming down my face. But it is very good for banishing everything. Jalala, I was looking to get into making my own essential oils, but the more I researched, the more worried I got about the amount of plant required for such a small amount of oil, and it started to feel a bit weird for me. There are various options. We do have a lesson about it in school. I don't make my own oils because, you have to have time to do these things. And I just hope that Ness and Heather feel pity on me and give me the things when they make them. So this week I had homemade jam from Heather, yum, and homemade elderberry rob from Ness. So I just, fingers crossed they keep feeling pity for me and give me all the homemade stuff. I buy my essential oils just really because of time. You can make oils yourself. Unless you actually do the whole distilled thing, they're not going to be as strong generally as steeping them, putting them in a jar, putting them on the window, shaking them, blah, 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 blah. But it depends what you want. If you want the scent or if you want the energy, or, if you make it yourself, it's going to have that personal connection, obviously. But Jalala, I buy it because, life's too short, really. Life's far too short for things like that. Tina, I bought some cauldron sand for incense. Haven't used it yet. I'm unsure about using it. Can I just put the incense on it and burn it? Cauldron sand, I'm assuming to put the layer in the bottom of the oil burner and then put the incense on top. Yes, that's all I do. I put a layer of sand on the bottom of the oil burner and put the loose incense on top. It literally just stops the resin from going all gluey and sticking to the bottom of the oil burner. I do not buy specific incense sand. I buy a small bag of craft sand or sand from the, home-based depot because it's cheaper. It's just sand. You can use salt, but that does have a slight tendency to get a bit more sticky. But it is literally to be a barrier between the bottom of the oil burner dish and the loose incense to help you clean it out, basically. But yes, just put a layer in and then chuck your incense on the top. Lee, loose incense on charcoal or just in the burner itself? I have homemade and resin too. So loose incense, I do burn on the charcoal dish in my cauldron. If I'm putting it in the oil burner, you can just put the loose incense in the dish of the oil burner with the candle underneath. But yeah, if it's got resin in it, it will stick to the bottom. So if you don't mind scraping it out afterwards, that's fine. But if you've got some sand, put a layer of, or even soil, a little bit of soil in the bottom, just to provide that protective barrier. David, have a loads of lavender to harvest. Now I have an idea. It doesn't grow in our garden. The soil is way too heavy clay for it. Zephora, try Domania in your pipe next time for a very chilled vibe. I tried a couple. They just made me cough. I'm not a smoker, so it just made me cough. I just like sitting there with the pipe, really, with nothing in it. It made me cough now. Thinking about it's just made me cough. Thought it was coffee. No, I don't drink instant coffee. I don't drink a lot of coffee at all. I don't, one coffee a day, if that, but only if it's a latte with caramel syrup in it. Other than that, I drink herbal tea. I don't really like herbal tea. I drink it because, it's nothing much else. If you don't drink normal tea or coffee, it's a bit, it's good for me. Something like that. Sasha, use a backflow incense cones in a backflow burner during a drawing in energy spout. Nice, like that idea. Those backflow incense holders are mad. Very, just you could sit and watch them forever. Very intriguing, but excellent idea for spell working. Jalala, sweet wood rough smells amazing. Pretty little flower, very pretty little flower. I'm not sure I've ever smelt it on its own. I've had it in blends of things. I shall investigate. Nicola, Fairyland Aromatics in Glastonbury have a yes glass smokeless oven for incense. I have one. They are brilliant. Smells strong, but amazing. It is like an oil burner, but made of glass, and it is for your incense. It's got a little tray that you put your sand and then you incense it in, but it's a similar setup to an oil burner, but they do it specifically for incense, and it's brilliant. I have one. They are beautiful too. That I bought from them. David, not sure I have a favourite herb, though rosemary I love. Smells so good and useful for most things. Most used, I would say, frankincense, yeah. Rosemary is one of those good all-rounders, isn't it? It's a brilliant herb for all sorts of different intents. Also good in cooking. It's very antiseptic, clearing, cleansing as well. And it's got a really woody stem, so it burns for quite a long while too. Yes, very, very useful. Tina, rose, dragon's blood, nag chambra are my go-tos. Also love frankincense and myrrh. Yes, all good. All excellent choices. Jane, I went to an Indian gift shop and bought an incense called Parrot. Okay, because I like the packaging. This parrot is dead. It has shifted off a mortal coil. It smells just like the dragon's blood they burn in Treadwells. Interesting. Yeah. That's where my brain goes. I'm not making any apologies for it. Got a silly question. Never a silly question. I've been drawn to use rose hips in an incense blend. Do I need to crush it first or use it as a whole? I chuck them in whole if they've been dried properly. Make sure they're dried properly, though, because if they are fresh ones, they won't burn properly. You need it to be really properly dried. You can crush them if you want. I chuck them in whole. Rose hips always makes me think of when we were kids. We used to split them open and take the bits out of the inside and use it as itching powder. But yes, I would say chuck them in whole as long as they're dried properly, Emma. But trust your intuition, as always. David, yes, play sand works fine. I just buy a little bag of craft sand, much cheaper than buying incense sand, and it works fine. Maria, yes, use salt if you can't find the sand. Yes, absolutely. I'm just trying to think where the glass incense burner is. I think it's in the room next door. I could disappear and find it, but then you'll be looking at a blank screen, so I won't do that. Xenia. That's what they burn at Treadwells. Oh, okay. You've finger on it now. Sometimes hard to bear and headachy inducing for me because it's clouds of it. Sometimes it can be a bit overwhelming, incense smoke, can't it? And if it is a particularly strong one, it can be quite overwhelming. Yeah, I have to be careful how I burn things or how much. Sylvia, a lot of work to make essential oils yourself. Yeah, so much that I'm not going to bother. No, I don't bother. Having said that, I have a friend who does make it for their own sprays, etc., and you really feel the difference. It's going to have that personal link to it, isn't it, I think? But I think unless you are actually distilling them like they do to make the proper essential oils, the scent isn't going to be quite as strong generally. Sylvia, I use volcano sand and no charcoal disc for my cauldron. Volcano sand, haven't worked with that before. I'm going to have a look at that one. Claire, make a spray if you don't want smoke. Yes, there are lots of options, aren't there? If you're not good with the smoke and you don't want to put it on an oil burner to warm through, you can do the simmer pot. So chuck all of your stuff in a pan of water and keep it simmering on the stove. That will fill the house with a beautiful scent. Sprays, boil some water in the kettle, let it cool, pour it in a spray bottle, add your incense oils. Make yourself a room spray. Perfect. What others? Salt is good for cleansing. Salt water is good for cleansing. All sorts of options. Scented candles, even if you're better with those, you can wander around the room and waft the scent around with that. Lots of different options if you're not good with smoke. Jane, if you're going to suck on a pipe and think you must wear a deerstalker. Well, my favourite books of all time, Terry Pratchett aside, are the Sherlock Holmes ones. I am a huge Conan Doyle fan. I have read and reread the Sherlock Holmes books millions of times. I have them all on Audible. Big hero. Love all the TV adaptations. Huge fan. Maybe that's what it is. I wanted a pipe because of Sherlock Holmes. Could be. Or Eric Morecambe, because I'm a big fan of his too, and he always had a pipe. I haven't got a deerstalker. I have got a bobble hat with the flaps that come down. Good morning, Kerry and Ebony. Xenia, don't like herbal tea. No, most of the herbal tea smells and tastes like grass. It just does. But I don't mind mint tea. Mint and licorice tea is quite nice. This one's just mint, so quite inoffensive. Kerry, I love sandalwood, patchouli, and nag champa. It's funny, isn't it? All these, we're all picking very, very similar ones, all the same. Nice choices. Xenia. Nice because you can use the properties of salt too. Well, sand has magical properties as well. So anything that you put in the dish of the oil burner with the loose incense on top will bring its own energies as well. Sand, salt, earth, it will all bring its own magical energies. Kerry, frankincense and rosemary. Yep, two very, very useful ones. Trudy, I make pouches with my own herb blend and what nature decides to offer me, especially moon-associated plants like starwort and evening primrose for the properties, and lavender, frankincense, and mugwort for the woody musk scent, and clary sage, dreamy. Clary sage is lovely. Now, mugwort's an interesting one. So there's always this big thing about cleansing with smoke and appropriation, blah, blah, blah. So the traditional, often you will find white sage used for cleansing, for smudging. It is grown in certain parts of America. It's not grown in the UK, which is one of the reasons why I don't use it. When I've got garden sage and all these other things in my herb garden, why would I pay lots of money to import white sage that's not native from the other side of the planet? It doesn't make any sense. So I use whatever herbs I've got in the garden. Not a big fan of the scent of white sage, actually. Same goes for sweetgrass. That's not native to the UK, so don't tend to use that either. Mugwort was used in the UK by the good old Vikings. They would burn mugwort for the smoke to cleanse things. So it's important to remember that smoke cleansing is found in nearly all the cultures across the globe. It is not specific to the indigenous peoples of America. They have their own rituals, they have their own ways of using it, they have their own practices, as every other culture does. Smudging with smoke is worldwide, and over here. The Vikings used mugwort because it grew over here in abundance, and when it's burnt, it has got quite a cleansing smell to it, so it was used over here. But again, incense used in all the Egyptian temples across the globe. Every culture has their own smoke smudging choices, rituals, preferences. So don't feel that you can't use it, because you can. So there. Lecture. Xenia still have my bird sand. Yes, the sand for bird cages would work very well. Lee. Black opium is my favourite incense stick at the moment. Quite strong. Yes, lovely though. Geranium. Yeah, definitely. Good old Turkish delight. Delicious. It's like a perfume. It can too much. Yeah, Do you know, we were in the cafe the other day and a couple walked in and sat on the table behind us, and her perfume was so strong. Every time I opened my mouth to take a bite of my food, I could taste her perfume. Yuck. But actually, yes, it was mentioned earlier. Essential oils can be used as perfume. Don't put essential oils directly on your skin. Some of them can be quite irritating. Do mix them with a base oil first. Sunflower oil, olive oil, coconut oil. It doesn't have to be expensive, but mix them with a base oil before you put them on your skins. And do be mindful, little children, old people, and pregnant ladies, be careful with essential oils. I would advise, if you're pregnant, not using them at all. Just disclaimer there. Maria, geranium and orange essential oil I love to mix together. That sounds perfect. That is most delicious. Turkish delight, absolutely. Jane, the Catholic Church used frankincense to make people part with loads of money at the offertory collection. Well, that kind of makes sense. In recent years, they've adopted a rose-flavoured frankincense, and I used to find it a bit overpowering. I think it does. Some of them can be quite overpowering, don't they? But there's a connection there. See, we all work magic. It doesn't matter who we are. Zephora. Do a simmer pot every morning making my herbal tea. Lemon, cloves, cinnamon, nettle, and elderflower. It's hay fever season here at the moment. But you had me up until nettle. All the other ones, nice. Nettle, yuck. You know what I feel about herbal tea. Nicola, not incense oil, but I love Florida water for cleansing my aura. Very powerful. Yes. We give a recipe for Florida water in one of our lessons. It's also in my hoodoo book. Very, very useful stuff. Very useful stuff. Xenia, but the real mint, not the crap tea bags you get in cheapy stores. I think it's very much. We have an international supermarket here, and they have a huge range of herbal teas, and they're all brilliant. Some of the branded teas in the supermarkets, herbal teas, I'm convinced they have sweepings off the shop floor in them. If you look at the ingredients of mint and cinnamon tea, there'll be about 15 different ingredients in there to bulk it out. Look for the ones that are just the ingredient that it says on the label. If it's mint tea, all it needs in it is mint. Yeah, be mindful, very mindful. Jane, herbal tea is more palatable if you combine it with a normal tea bag. Yeah, normal tea bag, if you like normal tea. I don't like normal tea. I like a chai tea. I will have a normal tea bag if I then add all of the chai spices to it, the cinnamon, the ginger, the coriander. Nice. Don't like normal tea. I know, I'm weird. Sephora, watch licorice tea, raises the blood pressure. I think all of these things, it is mindful with all of these herbal teas. If you have underlying health issues, do be careful. But at a herbal event we went to recently, she made the lady that was giving the talk made the point that to actually have herbal tea in the concentration that you need for it to do anything, you'd have to have about 5 tea bags in 1 cup to actually make it that medicinal grade. So if you drink 20 cups of herbal tea a day, you might want to have a relook. I only really drink 1 or 2. So yeah, but be mindful of the health stuff. The chamomile and vanilla with a dollop of honey is my nighttime tea. That chamomile tastes like grass because it's grass. I would have the vanilla and the honey. But it's me. David just reminded me out patchouli. That's now on the shopping list, as is cinnamon sticks. Now, I did discover something the other day. Cinnamon twig slices. I'd never seen them before. It was at this herbal presentation, actually. Twigs from the cinnamon tree cut into slices. They don't smell quite as strongly as cinnamon sticks, but they are literally like a twig in little slices. You can get them from Chinese herbalist stores. Brilliant for using in incense. I'd never seen them before. They're not, because the cinnamon sticks are made from the bark. Cassia is made from the bark. These were actually the twigs from the tree cut into slices. Interesting, very interesting. Nicola, hydrofoils are amazing to put in sprays. Remind us what hydrofoils are, Nicola. Sasha, wish I could remember the name of the herb I was using, but it smelled so bad that my working room smelled like cheesy feet for days. Oh no, you need to remember that one so you don't use it again. This is the question, isn't it? If you make an incense for a purpose, so generally when I make an incense, it is for spell working, for a particular intent or for a particular deity. So I have a focus when I am bringing that incense together. So I use my intuition and I bring all the ingredients together for that intent. Sometimes it doesn't smell nice, but it has the energies that I need for that magical purpose. Just bear that in mind. Sylvia, Livemore website has black volcanic sand. I used to be asthmatic, so could not use anything smoking, and the volcanic sand did me well. Okay, I will look into that. Nicola says hydrosols. I'm still none the wiser, Nicola. Maybe I'm being silly. Explain to me what you mean by that. Brain. It's a bit early for my brain to be working. Maria, can't stand smelling strong perfume. Not sure why some feel the need to shower in it. Yeah, I know. Some of it's so overpowering, isn't it? Sylvia, find that bay spray is coming up a lot lately. So this is a make for this weekend. Interesting. But when I'm doing a market, steep bay leaves and use the water from that for the spray. Bay's very clearing and cleansing, isn't it? That would work really nicely for cleansing home. Perfect. Mugwort. Important ingredient in my spirit tea. Well, yes, it's got a really strong otherworld connection, hasn't it? And now in my house spirit loose incense. Now I don't like using it in cooking as I feel I'm getting eyes staring at me asking what you're doing that for me. Feels like the dog watching me when we're cooking. Yeah, I've got a dog that does that. I think mugwort is very underrated, isn't it? We use it a lot in our workings. Heather grows it in her garden, so we've always got a good supply. It works brilliantly for spirit work, doesn't it? It is definitely very, very otherworldly. Diane, I use Florida water as well. I also find it works well as a click room cleanser if I'm in a hurry. Yes, perfect for that. Absolutely. It's useful stuff. Louise, I make products with these two, but I add a drop of ylang ylang. Nice, works well. Oh yeah. Remember putting on a few too many spots of patchouli oil on my jacket as it works the same as Be Gone spray. No, I like that idea. Karen, yeah, we are bound to be servants to our four-legged friends, aren't we? Tina, prefer fruit teas to herbal teas. I don't like any of them really, but each to their own. Xenia, also react allergic to smelling strong perfumes on others. I get a sneeze. Yes, I'm not very good with perfumes and things. I'm a terrible witch, basically. I am allergic to cats and incense, so I have to be very careful. Yeah. Claire says, add a tincture to tea. Yep, that works. Louise, pure rose tea for me. Do find it calms and makes me mindful. Yep. School got magic. Ooh, got magic. Maria, it's typical. My daughter loves the smell of vanilla and I can't abide it. It's quite sweet, isn't it, generally? Yeah, Louise, yes. Real vanilla is lovely. Synthetic vanilla, yeah, not so good. I'm with you on that one. Claire, cinnamon sticks always bring in money for me. Cinnamon for me is my go-to for success spells. Always add it to any success spells. Sylvia, you can use hydrosol waters in sprays for your own use. Okay. I'm a bit. I haven't heard this one hydrosol. I might have been living under a rock, but David, cinnamon twigs. I wonder if you could do that with other plants like the willow tree. Oh, yes, I would imagine so, as long as they're dried properly. We use lots of tree leaves and twigs in our incense blends. Rowan, elder, oak, all sorts we've tried. Yes, definitely. Jalala. Absolutely delighted my mugwort is growing this year, but it's the annual variety, so I'm really hoping for seeds so I can grow more. That would be good. It's very useful. Sephora, what are those beautiful burners you see in the Orthodox Church ceremonies that swing on chains? They are called censors. C-E-N-S. Censor. C-E-N-S-O-R. S-E-R. Censors. I love them. We had one that we used to use when we were outside at rituals because it kind of protects it from the wind. Hydrosols are flavoured waters, but not to drink, but to use in cosmetics. Okay, thank you. Interesting. Useful. Interesting. I love burning dried bay leaves, but they are little infernos. Yes, they do go quickly. Yes, Claire, a thurible. That's a similar thing as well, isn't it, for burning incense in? All these names for things. Nicola, when you distill essential oils, it's the aromatic water that comes out. Oh, okay. Thank you. It smells divine. Know what that is. Didn't know it had a proper name. Comes from the steam. Now I've learned something today. Thank you for that. Brilliant. Useful stuff. Trudy, make a simmer pot if smoke is too much. Love them, especially if I'm not baking, but want the cinnamony fruity smell. They are really useful. And if you don't want to put one on the stove, I have done dishes of it in the microwave. It helps clean the microwave because it produces steam, particularly if you put lemon in it. But yes, on the hob, just a little pan. Be careful you don't boil it dry. Just a little pan of simmering water with lots of bits in. Very nice. Makes the house smell beautiful. Thank you. I have learned this today. When you make essential oil, the water that's used in the distillation process after distilling is hydrosol. There you go. Never knew it was called that. Interesting. Karen, my favourite smelling incense is cinnamon. I do love cinnamon. I had my first pumpkin spice latte yesterday. That definitely had cinnamon in it. Not first ever. First of the season. Jane, smelling lots of vanilla is supposed to make us want less chocolate. Yes, I've heard that. It's if you get a sweet craving and you have a sniff of vanilla, it's supposed to make the sweet craving go away. Have not tried it. Maria, just had rosehip jam, which I bought from a shop that's like Flying Tiger, just more classy. It's delicious. I am very lucky. The International Supermarket near us sells all different types of jams, fig jams and grape jam, and they had rose jam, tasted like Turkish Delight. Got a bit of a Turkish Delight thing going on today. Definitely little wonderful supermarket places. Now, there's a good point, Louise. Do you want less chocolate? Never. I say never. Diane, interesting that you use elder in your incense. Always reluctant to burn elder. So Heather had the mother elder tree, and she gave me one of the saplings, and that's one of the saplings. Now, my sapling is now, it's about 5 foot high now. I had to cut her back the other day because I only have a small garden, so I wanted to raise her crown and make her a better shape so she fits in the garden. So I had a very, very long chat with her first. You should always ask the plant before you cut it, but the elder in particular, you need to talk to the elder mother because she can get really, really cross if you just cut bits off her. So I had a very, very long conversation with her first, and then took some of her outer bits off and raised her crown a bit, telling her all the while that she was going to be beautiful at the end of it. And she is. I didn't want to waste the bits of elder, so they have been dried and used for magical purpose. Always everything. Jane, if a sensor is very small, it's a thruble. Oh, there you go. A sensor is very small. It makes it a thurible. That's a good word. Thank you for that. See, learned lots of stuff today. Lots of stuff today. Trudy, white willow has amazing properties, found it locally, so different. Nice. And of course, connect with the spirit, connect with the energy of them before you use them, and they will tell you what they're useful for. Lee, many a burn mark on my table from bay leaves, yes. Louise, made rose petal jam last year. It was lovely. Nice. Oh, Louise, yes, you can prune it, but you do need to have a chat with the elder mother first, definitely. But with all of these things, it's about connection. So I've learned loads today, so thank you for that. Experiment, work with them, and connect with them. All sorts of different options. There's more information on my blog somewhere. There's several blogs about incense and various other things. Experiment with it. Connect with the energies of the ingredients. Lots. Thank you. I have, let's just put that one up there. Jalala. Made the most amazing salve for aching muscles and joints from elder leaves. Nice. And St. John's wort. Elder leaves are amazing. And yes, the branch fell for me to harvest. Brilliant. Yes, learned lots today. Do experiment, connect with the energies of it all, and see where it takes you. So thank you very much for joining me. Watch out for more exciting announcements from Kitchen Witch coming up. And students, bear with us. There will be a few changes, but it's going to be more brilliant and more sparkly. Thank you, everyone. Have a fantastic week experimenting with your incenses and oils. Have fun, everyone, and I will see you again next time.